𝗕𝗂𝗏 𝗪𝗏 and I am the organizer and ambassador at GDG WTM Jalandhar, which is based in India. I'm also working as a software engineer at 𝗕𝗏𝗏 Infotech and here with you all people to talk more about web solutions which we can build using Google Developers technologies. Yeah, Brij.
Yeah. So hi everyone. My name is Richard and I'm a Google developer expert for Firebase and web technology, and also I'm a developer advocate at 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏. So yeah, over to you, Varsha.
Okay, so moving ahead, what I will be talking about today is more about web. So before starting with anything else in this session, in this 45 minutes, I would like to ask one question to all of you that what actually is web? Do you want to answer it in comment section? What is web? So in a layman language, it's something which provides us a bit of information for whatsoever we are looking for. Let's say if I am searching for an XYZ type of image, I am just going over to the website or web application and I'm just searching for it, right? So it's actually a system which consists a bit of information or a lot of information which has already shared via network and is accessible by users throughout the world, right? So, web is actually like it consists of three things. It's not only about a website. It consists of three things, which is website, browser, and then server. What website is? It's a collection of web pages with a particular set of information which a user is looking for. It's more of a combination of a content which can have images, videos, text, or various other things listed over there, right? Second is browser, from where we can access. It's a particular platform which helps us to access any type of website over the internet. And third comes a server, that is basically a computer hardware or a computer which is there to just listen to your request that what are you looking for and then respond according to your need. So let's say if you are searching for facebook.com, it will just you are heading up to browser, you have written facebook.com. Now this web browser will make a request to the server to look for the data related to facebook.com, and then server will do all the needfuls like reaching up to the domain server, checking out the IP, finding out that particular website, and then coming up like reverting back with the response, and hence you are able to see that particular website or web application, that is facebook.com, right? So web is actually information system and you can access it. You can get any information by the use of website, by like checking out the website, which you can access via help of browsers and server. Okay. And as we said that we are here to talk about various web solutions which you can build, right? So before building any solution, there are few things which we'll be talking about, that what you need to take care to build a better web solution. We all know that how to create or how to build a website, right? It's just a combination, like you have to write a HTML page, CSS, JavaScript, or you can move ahead with frameworks like Node, Angular, Vue, React, and blah blah, right? But how you can make it better is what we as a web developer we are looking for, or we should be take care of, right? So before moving ahead, I'm just talking about few things which you'll be able to relate further. So let's say I am visiting any website. I have opened a any website. I am not naming it right now, but there are certain expectations from a user, right? Let's say if you are opening of facebook.com, your expectations will be that okay, there will be a news feed, there will be a section for friends where you can chat with any friends, or where you can post or all those things, right? And you always want that the user's expectation is that these are the predictable content which will be there on a website. Let's say you are searching for a food recipe. What you'll be expecting, that there will be a picture or something or a video of that recipe along with some text that how this can be cooked, what will be the ingredients and all those things, right? And there might be a comment section as well, just to take the feedback from the user, or let's say a form or query section as well. So um, these are the expectations of user, but what is the reality is there are various flashing menus, there are various ads which are there on the website. It's not that adding that ad section and all is wrong. The site owners and developers, they try different UI patterns, they just try to meet the customer expectations along with their balancing the charges which they are paying for xyz things, right? So along with balancing business needs, they do have those information which a user is looking for, but there are other datas as well, right? Now, the question here arises is what really makes a good user experience? Because having these ads and all those things, that really affects the user experience. That also affects your website in like search engine and all those listings, right? But honestly, if I'll say, there is no right experience that what which user experience is better or which is not, because it's totally different for everyone. If I'm a person who is more like um, I love a page which is not more colorful. It's just have the information. It's so subtle and a good to like a treat to my eyes will be. It's consisting of less colors and all those things. But for some other person, it might feel like, okay, this website is so dull, right? It's just having gray, black, white color and all those things. It should be more colorful. It should have so much pictures or like some designing fonts and all those things. So it's always different for various users to user. But what is the like there are few things which you can take care of to provide a great user experience to your users. And a way to measure the same is, um, you just need to answer three questions. Other than that, all things is something which you really need not to take care of. So the three question is so simple. Is it happening? Like, your website is not taking a lot of time to get loaded. Like, let's say I have searched for xyz.com and it's literally taking 7 to 10 seconds, or let's say 1 minute to load. I am not going to open that website again. Let's say I have searched for best best restaurant near me, and there are few links, let's say by Just Dare or various other websites which are just showing me the restaurants near me, right? And I just click the first or second or third website, and it's taking 3 or more than 3 seconds to load. So I'll just close that one, and I'll move ahead to next search results, right? So you need to take care of that. Is it taking much time to get loaded, or is it fast enough or not? Second, is it responsive? Let's say if my user is interacting with it. Let's say if there is a form, or user just want to expand the text, the font size of the text. Is it interacting with the user or not, right? Third, and which I feel is the most important for my as per my experiences, is it really stable? Like, let's say I have I just opened a website and I am reading a paragraph. I have read 3 out of 7 lines of that paragraph, and suddenly a picture came above the that paragraph. And now what I was reading is somewhere below my eyesight, right? Where I was reading it, right? Suddenly, I need to scroll the web page, and I need to check the text, and this affects the user experiences, right? So how you can take care of these things, these three questions, that is it happening, is it responsive, or is it delightful or not? So this metrics, which I have just talked about, that this correlates to those pillars are like, here core web vitals come into picture. Like, what is the largest contentful paint, which is actually corresponding to the loading time. Second is first input delay, which corresponds to interactivity. And third is like cumulative layout shift, which takes care of and which will help you taking care of the stability of the visual stability of the website. I'll talk more about it in the upcoming slides, Before that, I want to tell you that why you should care about these things is because now, if I'll just go on the data or check out the data, 24% users, like, uh, if you are, let's say, if you are using or taking care of these metrics by core, which are there like under core web vitals, the abandonment rate of your website decreases to 24%, like it decreases by 24%. And what I mean by this is, let's say a user is opening a website and it's taking much data, time to load. User will not come back to that website again. They might find something which is similar to what they were looking for, and it's there on some different website. So if you want your user to be there to retain the users, you um, you need to take care of these core web vitals to just list higher on the Google search engine or any other search engines, and to lower the abandonment, the rate of like how users are leaving the website. So, and why this is really useful and why this is needed is, last year in the month of November, the Google search team, they announced their intent over the next 6 months to incorporate core web vitals into the website. What I mean by this line is, let's say if you are searching for anything, any data over there, or let's say you are searching for how to implement a form in HTML. There are enormous number of websites which provide the information about the same, right? Now, Google search engine, like they just crawl over all the websites and find out the best results over the top and list the data over there, right? Because there are, like, let's say if you are moving to third page, there is still information, there is a website which will give you the information regarding the same. But why that was not there on the first page? um, so now if you are taking care of core web vitals also, you Google webmaster center blog, like, as per this Google search engine, they also cares, take just check that, okay, what is the threshold, what is the score of your website if I am measuring on the metrics which I have just talked about under core web vitals. Okay, so now we know that, okay, why we need to use core web vitals, just because it's going to help my website rank higher, and it's going to give my users a better user experience. The question arises, okay, what is core web vitals then? We have talked about a lot of things why we should use it, right? So it's nothing, it's just a set of metrics which are there to help you in measuring your website performance, overall performance, like, what's the largest contentful paint, like, how much time it's taking for first input delay, what is there is any layout shift or not. So all those things, you need a certain metrics to measure all those things. So yeah, core web vitals is just that, a set of metrics. And the first one under this is LCP, which stands for largest contentful paint. And what it means is how much time the website is taking to load the last data on your website, right? So it's more about your loading performance, how fast your website is. And based on these stats which is there, let's say if your website is taking 2.5 seconds or less to load all the data, all the content of your pages, and like the user is ready to use the, like, the see the all the contents over there. If it's taking, or if the LCP is, like, let's say the LCP is taking 2.5 seconds, it's good. If your website is taking more than 4 seconds to load the last data, your website performance will be poor, and you need to improve that, right? And what are the best practices which you can take care of to improve the LCPs is, you can apply instant loading, you can optimize your CSS, you can optimize your rendering path, images, fonts, and JavaScript methods, that how you are writing the code. So These are the things which you need to take care of. Second comes is first input delay. That um, is your website interactive? Is it responsive enough based on the user's interaction with your application? So let's say if it is taking less than 100 milliseconds, 100 ms, your website is good enough and will score higher rank in Google search engine. But if it is taking more than 300 ms, you need to your website rank will be poorer. And if it lies from 100 to 300, you need to improve your website. You need to improve the coding standard or whatsoever you have writing, just to to rank higher in your search engine. And third is CLS, that is cumulative layout shift. Cumulative layout shift, I would like to explain it in a better way, that what actually it is. It's more like what I just said, that okay, you are reading a paragraph and suddenly after some time an image comes in between and your layout is being shifted. So now if to provide good user experiences, your pages should maintain a CLS that should be less than zero point 0.1. And if it is more than that, you need to improve that. You need to improve the CLS of your website so that it will provide a better user experiences. Now I have talked about these numbers like 100 ms or 300 ms, 4 second, 2.5 second, 4 second, and zero point 0.1 and all. The question is how to measure that, how you would know that okay, this CLS in my website, the CLS is zero point 0.2 or zero point 0.1 or whatsoever it is. So no worries, there are a lot of tools which are there to support you to that how you can measure the various metrics which I have talked about, how you can track and how you can improve the same in your web application. Be it like page speed insights, search console, Lighthouse, web vitals extensions, they all will help you with your website report, and they'll generate a report that how this you can reduce it, how you can improve it, and what's the what's the number, what's your score for LCP, FID, or CLS. And talking about core web vitals in search console, if you'll just check, they'll help you not only the desktop report, they'll also help you in creating a report for mobile, including the amp pages. Like if you have included amp pages, if you have built it or designed amp pages, which we'll talk about in later sessions though, so they'll create a full report which will help you to provide a better user experience, whether a user is opening the website or checking out that particular application on their desktop or mobile. Now let's say I have measured and my CLS is coming some zero point 0.3 and I need to improve that. Or my LCP, let's say it's taking 3.2 seconds to paint the largest content or the last content, right? So how I can improve it? So for LCP, it's pretty simple. It's really not tough to improve all these things. You just need to take care of those minute mistakes which a user or which a developer can do. So for LCP, you can eliminate the render blocking resources, or you can improve the server response time. Let's say if you are loading any image and that image is uploaded on any server, you need to just improve that, that okay, how much time it's taking to get that image from server and get that loaded over the user's screen. You can also use preload key and all those things. You can enable text compressions. You And first and most important thing which I feel as a developer we do is we write a particular code and we forget or we just avoid removing it later if that is not of any use. So this also affects the performance. So let's say if you have written any unused CSS, unused JavaScript code, you just need to remove that. You can minify your JavaScript. uh, Also, you if there is any animation in your website, the trick here is, or the tip here is, never use any animation file, rather use video formats, because ideally the size of animated file is larger than the video file of same content. So go with all those things, try implementing, like taking care of all these things in while building your website. If the score of FID is not up to the mark, how you can improve it is you can reduce the JavaScript execution time. You can reduce, again, you need to remove unused JavaScript, unused CSS. You need to remove the duplicates which we have created. Let's say for a single thing, you need to implement a particular feature, and in one page you have used some X module to implement that. In second page you have like used Y module or Y library to implement the same. Try removing these duplicate things, and if you are if you are using any library, try to make as much use as you can. If let's say you are writing, if you are loading whole bootstrap CDN and all those things just to create a button, try avoiding that, because that will have all the JavaScript and CSS loaded in your website even if you are not using 0.1% of it, right? So try avoiding these things, and yeah, your FID will be improved. In case of CLS, what you can do, let's say if you are using a font of some different font of for title or something, and that font, the file is taking time to get loaded. Until then you can use a property like font display swap, so that until or unless that font file is not loaded in the user's browser, it will be visible with like with the default font which is there for your website. It will not be vanished, and it will not wait until the font will get loaded and then again layout shift will occur, right? You can also avoid using iframes and all, because they are not predictable and all those things. Let's say again, if you are adding any image and video and you know that it's going to take time as compared to the loading time of text, you can predefine the width and height of the images or videos, so that it will get, even if it will get loaded later on, the size or the area will be fixed for them, and it will not create a shift when they'll load. I'll give you examples, few examples on all these things which I have spoke about till now. uh, yeah, I was talking about page load, right? So let's say you have opened, the user has opened a website and the texts are there. CLS is good so far, because whatsoever should be there is there. Suddenly the image gets loaded. It took time, let's say it took 1 second, and then after that it loaded. So now the shifting is taking place, right? The layout is shifted, and now your CLS will needs improvement, right? Because layout shifting took place. Suddenly, let's say if you have added a ad as well, and again there the ad gets loaded after image, again a layout shift is occurring, and hence your CLS is poor. So how you can improve it? You can provide fixed height or fixed width to all these banners. Let's say you had image, you had ad, you can provide the width or height of the same, and the data, the text which should be there is already below that. So even if it is taking time, you can provide a loader over here, and when the image or when the banner gets loaded, it will be taking that particular size which you have already allotted, so the shifting is not taking place. Afterwards, let's say the ad is also there, it's there where I have already fixed the height and width of the same, right? So the layout shift didn't occur. Second thing is avoid overlays. Overlays will not affect CLS, because it's not shifting the layout and all, but it affects the LCP is largest contentful paint, right? So it now let's say that overlay is coming after the website is taking low, like is already loaded, and now that overlay will get loaded, it will get the data, and it will hence like affect your LCP, right? uh, Now let's say there is a dynamic content which needs to be injected on user click, right? So let's say there is a page, and once user is clicking on click me, there will be a content which will be visible below it, right? It can be let's say a button of show password or hide password. So once user is clicking on show password, a text area will come and it will show the password. Now this will affect CLS, right? Also one thing, you need to take care of interactivity in this. If you have provided a something, some button or something, some links where a user is clicking and something is supposed to happen on that click, always provide user a state that to know that okay, the page is loading. Let's say I have clicked on click me and there is nothing, it's loading but it's not showing me anything. So I might click on it or several number of times assuming that it's not clicked or not, right? And suddenly after some time that updated content will occur. Now what happened here, cls is also like cls got affected because there was layout shift. Second, how you can provide improve the fid as well. Let's say if on any interaction I have to provide, I how you can improve cls as well. You provided a loader which is showing that okay, content placeholder or content is loading, right? Now the whatever data is coming, the data will come here with the content. So cls is not affected as along with that, it's interactive enough. It just showed the user that okay, you have clicked in and the content is loading, right? Also, like try disabling these, let's say what happens when you open a website, ideally html loads, then css gets loaded, and then javascript gets loaded. So let's say there was a button and the website is still loading and I clicked on that button, but javascript still blocked, like the execution is taking place. So what will happen? It will not do anything, right? So try disabling those things until and unless javascript is getting executed. And once it's executed, then provide the actual screen that okay, click me. User will be able to know that okay, now the data has been loaded, and once user will be clicking on the website that or on the button, on the link or wheresoever, it will be ready to interact, right? So if I'll talk about few takeaways which you can take from this session, or more about from core web vitals. First is always insert new content carefully, and by this I mean is never do layout shifts. If you have any image, if you have any ad or any video, anything which you think will take more time as compared to text, provide a fixed width and height so that even if they get loaded later, the area will be saved from for them, and it will not create any shifting after that. Second, always give instant feedback. Like if you have created any button, let's say submit, and user has clicked on it, try providing a loader over that button or something in progress or something, some interaction like based on that clicks, so that user will be able to know that okay, I have clicked and there the process is happening, and will not will just ensure that okay, the execution is taking place. Third, um, try to match visuals with reality. Like let's say if you have a button and it's more about we have already knew about okay, adding hand icons over button, if something is happening showing loader and all those things. So try to make it more in reality how it should take place. If you have given me something, it's in processing or something, so just try to make it more interactive, and like provide those visuals to your website which will help user to understand that how this actually works, what I need to do in the next steps, right? So these are the three takeaways which you can take from this session, which is more about core web vitals here. But yeah, it's not the only thing which is there to build a better web solution. There are a lot of other ways, and for the same, we have Bridge here along with me. So over to you, Bridge. If you can like talk about more other ways which are there to build a better web solution. Over to you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Varsha, for like sharing the knowledge about Core Web Writer for improving the performance and accessibility part of your website. And we have a lot of ways like how we can improve the performance and the accessibilities and many more factors of our website. So now I'll talk about like there are a lot of products in Google. With the help of these products you can create more fast, accessible, reliable solutions in the web technology. So like I'll talk about like PWA, Firebase, AMP, Google Chrome platform, and the TensorFlow.js and many more things. So let's get started with the web applications versus website. So website is just like as a informational things, like let's say we have a Wikipedia. So you open a Wikipedia, you will get the information about the content. And if I talk about the web app is just like as a like we have a website, and then there will be a, some personalized content. Let's say you open facebook.com, which can be considered as a web app, where we have a login screen and we have a personalized content, and then we can get the notifications and many more things. And the third things like we have a PWA, progressive web apps. So progressive web apps is just like as a applications which can be installed in your system, and with the help of progressive web apps you can send a push notifications. You can like it support offline, and you can install your applications in your mobile devices or the desktop devices, and which will give you the best user experience that will look like as an Android or the iOS or maybe desktop applications. So this is an example, like if you have created a PWA for your website. So let's say PWA for the desktop, like if you have a website, or if you can go to the DevFest 21 Sri Lanka website, so you can also install this website into the PWA part, and it will be support in your desktop operating system, the Windows or maybe iOS or any other operating system. And so this is an example for the Twitter desktop PWA. Like you can go to the Twitter and then you can download, or you can just click on the plus symbol and it will be downloaded, and you can access it in your system directly without opening the Twitter website. And with the help of PWA, let's say you have a website and you have converted that particular website into the PWA, and also you can upload that particular PWA into the Google Play Store, which is called as Trusted Web Activities. With the help of TWA, you can also update or upload the applications on Google Play Store, and there are a lot of applications in Google Play. Google Play Store, let's say OYO Lite, these all are the application which is working on TWA, Trusted Web Activities. So like there are a lot of things, like we have another product which is name is AMP, Accelerated Mobile Pages. Let's say if you want to increase your performance, or if you want to increase your speed of your web page. So this is a AMP, Accelerated Mobile Page, which is a open source. With the help of AMP, you can create super fast web pages. It's a web component library. So like I think like you have seen in these images or these videos in your day-to-day life, when you click on the Google and you search something, within an instance you will be able to find the result, or maybe you can get navigate to the website very fast way. So like these are the things is made with AMP, and with the help of AMP, you can create AMP website, you can create stories which will look like as an Instagram or the WhatsApp status. And third things like with the AMP, you can create AMP email, which is very fast and you can interact within your mail. And the fourth things with the help of AMP, you can create ads. So I'll talk about the first thing, like with the AMP, you can create interactive or user-friendly website with the help of AMP. So this is a website, like we have a AMP landing page, and this is a regular page. So see, we if we are using AMP, so it will be very fast, which is as compared to the 10x as compared to the regular page. And the second part is AMP stories. So AMP stories is just like as an Instagram or the WhatsApp or the Facebook type of stories. And one of the best thing about AMP stories is just like it's an application independent. You just have a URL. You just need to share the URL with your friend over any applications, and you just need to open this URL over the browser, and which can be accessible on any devices. So this is the example, like in Google Discover, how Google is using AMP stories for like sharing the data about the company and all. So like there are a lot of web publishers who are using the concept of AMP stories, like they share the content over the across the globes. And the third one part is with the help of AMP, you can create interactive emails. Like we have a mail, and you can inside a mail you can directly fill the form, you can collecting the informations. So these type of forms you can create, emails is created. So this is an example, like we have a OYO mail, and within a mail we can check out the more hotels in that particular locations. We can also check out the rating, and we can also book the like our tickets or the room. Similarly, like how Google is using the concept of AMP email. So if you go to the Google Docs and if you have some comments on the notifications in a Google Docs, so we can get the information, we can share, we can pass the comments, and we can like close the comments, many more things we can do that. And the fourth one part is with the help of AMP, you can create ads which is very fast, high performing all across the device. And these are the example. Like see how AMP ads are very fast as compared to the regular ads. So now I'll talk about like AMP has a three core component. Like the first component is AMP HTML, and the second one is AMP JS, and the third one is AMP caches. So AMP HTML is a modified version of your HTML code. Let's say if you are working on HTML, so you can use image tag for share for printing an image. So if you are using AMP, so we have AMP hyphen image tag where you can use this image tag, and it will be very fast. Similarly, AmpJS, which is it's a JavaScript library which implement all the best practices and performance uh, related to loading over the pages. And the third one part is AMP caches, which cache the AMP pages, making them very fast. So now I'll talk about like how we can create these type of AMP pages. So we have to implement two things. Like you can create a normal HTML page with the help of HTML, and then you can add AMP as an attribute in your HTML tag, and then you need to load AmpJS library. So this is the example. Like we have a regular HTML page, we just added HTML as an attribute in HTML tag, and then we have loaded the JavaScript library for the AMP. And this web page is much faster than as compared to the regular page. And you can check out more information about AMP. Like if we have a website amp.dev, you can check out the website. Here you can explore the documentations. You can get the code labs about creating AMP stories and many more things. So now let's create a website. Let's say website name is example.com, and maybe there might be a possibilities like you have a lot of confusion like how we can create a website, what will be the technical stack we can use for creating a front end of your website or maybe back end logic. So let's say if you have finalized the website logic, then you have to write a lot of amount of code for writing your backend logic, managing the database infrastructure part. So that's why there is a lot of headaches. So that's why Firebase came into the picture. So Firebase, what is a Firebase? So Firebase is a app development platform which helps developer with a lot of tools and the services. So it's provide a backend services. You just need to focus on your front end applications, and you can use directly Firebase. And with the help of Firebase, you can build very fast applications without managing the infrastructure. So we have a mission in Firebase, like we have a mission for Firebase is to help the developers succeed. So one of the best thing about Firebase, like you can use Firebase, like if you're working on iOS, so you can use Firebase, or if you're working on mobile platform, let's say Android or the Flutter, you can also use Firebase. And as a web developer, we have a lot of services you can use Firebase. And similarly, we have C++, or if you're working on game development platform, let's say Unity, you can directly use the Firebase. So as I mentioned, like Firebase is providing a lot of services. So these services is categorized into the three main categories of the tools and which have a specific goals. The first one is build better application. The second one is improve your app quality, and the third one is grow your engage your user. So like with the help of build better applications, like we have services, authentications, hosting, cloud functions, machine learning. There we have a database like Cloud Firestore, real-time database, and the extensions. With the help of these services, you can build the application which will be very fast in terms of building time, and then you can improve your application's quality by using Crash Analytics, performance monitoring, test lab, app distributions. And if your application is ready, you have improved your quality. Now you can connect with your user with the help of analytics, predictions, with the help of cloud messaging. You can send push notifications. There are a lot of things you can do that with the help of Firebase. So like if you know want to know more about Firebase, we have a website. Like you can check out the website like firebase.google.com. Here we have a documentations. You can check out the documentations. So the next one part is like you have if you improve your website quality with the help of AMP. You have used backend infrastructure as a Firebase. Now, if you want to implement some machine learning stuffs, so we have another library which is name is TensorFlow.js. So if you are working on machine learning field, so we have to write a lot of logic in a Python, and then we need to create a REST APIs with the help of Django or the Flask. But alternatively, you can use directly TensorFlow.js, which is a JavaScript library for the machine learning in your applications directly. You just need to call the machine learning model, or you can build your own model, which will directly run your browser, and you can call it. So to know more about like TensorFlow.js, we have a website like tensorflow.org/javascript.js. And there are a lot of machine learning APIs which is provided by the Google Cloud. So we have a APIs, let's say Cloud Vision API. The first one is with the help of Vision, you can detect the faces, you can detect the label, you can also detect the OCR, logos, safe search, and the landmarks. And also there are a lot of features. Let's say you can detect a face, barcode, text APIs. So with the help of these APIs, you can build very fast or highly performant applications. And we do have some guidelines, like if you want to create a website or the web applications. So now you need to like focus on the design part. What are the basic guidelines for making your web applications? So here we have a material designing guidelines, like if you are working on mobile applications platform or the website for the desktop. So these all are the guidelines. You can follow these guidelines and you can create like smooth and super fast and reliable and better UX and UI related design. And sometimes if you are working on a website, you just need to focus on the fonts or the icons. So you can go to the website, let's say font.google.com. Here we have a lot of fonts available. You can directly use those fonts in your website. You can also use the icons in your website. And let's say you have created a website. Now we have published the website with the help of Firebase. We have added the font. Now we need to give our presence to in a Google search result. So you can go to the Google Search Console. Here you can add a property and you can apply your website. After adding your website into the Google Search Console, your website will be visible to the Google search. Like whenever you are searching on a Google, so your website listing will be there in a Google search result. And then we have a Lighthouse, like you can check out the performance report or the accessibility reports and the PWA part with the help of Lighthouse. So you just need to go to the Chrome, open the website, just go to the inspect element, and then we have a section for audit, and you can generate the report for your Lighthouse. Here we can get the information about code web vitals and many more things. And the one more thing, like sometimes we need to know about your customer. For example, let's say I have created a website. The name is, let's say, DevFest India 20, DevFest Sri Lanka, and I just need to know about my customer, that what type of user are visiting our website, what will be the age group, or what will be the locations from the country, that particular user group. And so you can use Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is just like as a tools where you can get the informations about your user. Let's say what type of customer you are visiting in your website, which specific page. Here you can get the informations about a lot of things, and you can use these information for the marketing and business purpose. So yeah, so these all are the tools. With the help of these tools, you can create a highly performant, reliable, accessible solutions. So now I'll share the resources. Like if you want to start your career in the web technologies, like you just need to focus on your the basic fundamental part, let's say HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript part. And then we have a lot of hot topic which is coming going on. So you can check out the like playlist for the Firebase, like how we can use Firebase in a web technologies, and how we can create a PWA, how we can create web pages. And you can check out the frameworks and the libraries which is going on front end as well as back end development. Let's say Angular, Node.js, React, Express, MongoDB, Vue. There are a lot of things which is going on. So you can check out the link here. We have a link here. You can check out all the resources and the links available in that particular link. So if you have any questions, you can ask your questions, yeah, or you can directly reach out to us on Twitter. We have a username 𝗓𝗏 and the bridge was saying.